the clip that I found earlier on Facebook of Star Wars trilogy.
This is gonna be good. Me blowing my nose on YouTube.
Yes.
Get a good look, internet. My allergies are home.
This is Nick.
On this episode,
On this episode, Nick has allergies.
and Rob is fancy.
Ahsoka movie release date. Ahsoka movie. Sure, we'll go with the release date. Let's see what happens. Are you live? Are we doing all this?
Oh, I'm live.
Oh, okay.
I'm live.
And
you are too.
We're live.
Oh yeah, we're live. Coming at you live from the Coliseum.
Live.
Sunday. We need more reverb.
We do. So Trey is now working at the Philadelphia Orchestra.
Doing what?
Whatever they tell him to. It's his co-op for school.
I see.
Tomorrow Yo-Yo Ma will be performing there. He's like, "Do you know who Yo-Yo Ma is?" I was
Have
like,
you heard of this guy?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Have you not?
Yeah.
I'm really surprised he hasn't, honestly.
I know. And then he was like, "Yeah,
he's a pretty cultured kid."
He is. And then he goes, "Some other guy, Sting, is coming soon. You know who him?"
God.
I'm like, yeah.
Like, my friend from high school is his Sting's drummer right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's touring with him.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So he'll be in Philadelphia.
I would imagine so.
In February, John Williams will be conducting with Yo-Yo Ma. I was like, okay, we need to get together.
Yeah, we gotta do like a live Bantha Milk from just the
whole
time, just sitting we'll like have our live stream up on Instagram.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
People behind us, turn your phone off.
Turn your phone off. Okay.
McClunky.
All right, are you ready?
I was born that way.
I was born that way. What should we say on this episode? What? You have allergies?
And you're dressed fancy.
Okay. All right. On this episode of Bantha Milk Podcast, Nick has allergies.
And Rob is in his Sunday best.
Intro music.
Feels no good to be dead.
You gotta fix that little
little
input there.
I use it for 32 seconds a week, and I always forget to get it
because by the end of our hour of talking, you're not thinking, "Oh, I got to replace that.
I got to replace this cable." Yeah, it's bent. I got to get.
Well, while you deal with that, I'll deal with my tissues here.
Yeah.
Welcome to Bantha Milk Podcast.
Welcome to Bantha Milk
Podcast. WEOK Radio coming at you live. Live at 5.
Weather on the 2s, traffic on the 4s, coming at you live.
We really need to, like, I don't know why, like, we haven't been scouted by local radio yet.
I know
we should be like your drive time, like, radio
the morning. Yeah.
We're talking, we're taking calls, we're giving people advice about like their love life and their work problems.
We can do it all. We can be on the local radio from sunrise to sunset. We can do it all.
Yeah.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning, Vietnam. Okay, yeah, we're starting to peak.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and then at the end we'll be like, this soft song goes out to all the lovers out there.
Yeah. This song is for Amy. Amy, Steve's real sad about what he did. He knows he did you dirty.
He knows he did you dirty.
But he wants you to know, boo, that ain't nobody like you, boo. So here's George Michael's classic hit, Faith.
Because I gotta. But he was. I saw him kissing a girl named Faith.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Anywho,
welcome to Bantha Milk Podcast.
We're here, and we kind of have Bantha Milk today. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Nice. Well, Nick had Bantha Milk.
I have. Well, I still have it. It just is, kind of inside of some paper towels.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a coffee, my nice free Wawa coffee. Once again, if you stop by Wawa and you tell them that you are there to support Bantha Milk Podcast and that you're a teacher, and you will get a free coffee. But you only have until this Friday, I guess.
Yeah, it's only for the month of September.
So go out to your local Wawa, say, I want Bantha Milk Podcast, and I am a teacher, and get your free coffee.
Yep. And you do all that, and
and
you
then
get
you
a free
spill it,
coffee.
and then you spill it all over Rob's table here, and you
And
make a mess.
computer, and you make a mess.
Yeah, yeah. But life no use crying over spilled coffee.
Nope. And
And
but
then Rob's
now
got some iced tea.
I have some iced tea.
See, I should have gone with tea.
You
That was
should have.
my mistake.
Yeah.
I'm
Fresh
gonna try not
brewed
to
iced
sniff into
tea.
this the whole time. Ugh.
Fresh brewed iced tea, I might add. I
Oh,
like.
really?
Yeah, we
Is
have
it
that.
sweetened?
I mean, with my own sugar. Yeah,
Isn't that how
like
you
it.
sweeten
Yeah,
iced
that
tea?
is. Yeah, but I'm like not like super sweet
I
tea,
got you.
but just like enough sugar so that it doesn't taste like blah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not big on tea. I like iced tea. I used to be one of those guys who I'd have the pitcher in my,
Hmm.
but it was like the powdered iced
Oh
tea.
yes. Yep.
I loved that
I
stuff.
used to love that
It's
as well.
so sweet.
Yeah.
And I don't have it in the house anymore, mainly because I don't really drink sweet things anymore. I
Okay.
don't I drink water
Okay.
or like coffee or like whiskey.
There you go.
That's
You
the
one of three
three. Yeah,
things.
that's it. But that being said,
Yeah.
I'm drinkless tonight.
You
I'm
are
sad.
drinking. You had coffee, and then you said, "I
I
don't want to drink
squandered
it."
it.
Yeah,
I
you
looked at it and
squandered it
went,
away.
"You would do much better all over the place."
Hmm.
And here
So
we
there
are.
we go. But
But
yes,
yeah, so we're here, a special late night edition of. I love how old we are. Late night edition.
late
It's
night. It's 9 o'clock.
9:55,
Yeah,
and we're like, "Oh my god, it's old." But that's me every week anyway.
that is me as well.
But we are here for another episode breakdown, episode 7, Dreams and Madness. Right, a lot of stuff going on in that. But yeah, before we get into that, I guess we should talk about people who we support and who you should support, right?
Yeah. So ears up in depth.
Puny Pod,
Puny Pod.
Scraping the Vault,
They're the one that's the most fun to say. Puny Pod.
Puny Pod, because it's alliterative.
It
It's
is.
nice to say.
It
Yeah,
is,
Puny Pod.
and it rhymes too.
Yeah. See, we were going for. Oh, it doesn't rhyme.
No, it
Puny
doesn't
Pod.
rhyme.
No, not at all.
I was trying to say the same thing that you said, but not as fancy, and it didn't work.
It's all right.
It's all right. It was worth a shot.
But we were going for alliterative with our original
Yeah,
title,
Banter,
Beskar, and
Bantha
Bantha Milk. But apparently, people thought that was too wordy.
It was too much. It was
Yeah.
too much. Yeah. So we had to shorten
Except
it
it wasn't just that. It was Banter, Beskar, and Bantha Milk, a Mandalorian podcast.
Yeah.
It's more like the title of a memoir, I guess.
It
than the
was.
title.
It was like our book.
Yeah.
The autobiography.
That's when like in like 100 years time, when they're writing books about us, that's what the title of the book will be.
It will be. It'll be
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Yes. So Puny Pod, scraping the vault. Yes. And what's the other one? Supreme Taco Resort.
Oh, man,
So check all them out.
yeah, you can
they're
check us
all-
out on the social medias as well. On the
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Instas,
Check out our social
on the
media.
Instas, on the Faces, not on the X, because I don't understand it anymore.
No.
You know what I don't understand about X? As I sneeze, hold on. What I don't understand is like he like bought the company, he's losing a lot of money. He's charging for all the check marks.
Uh-huh.
But like now I'm like, all right, well, I don't want an account, so I'm not gonna look. And now you can't even see people's tweets unless you have an account.
Really?
Yeah, like I can't go to like I'll go to Elon Musk Twitter. I can't read it. You must sign in.
You must sign in
So
to read
like
it. Where at
now it's
least with
just
like
like I'm done with this really now. you
yeah,
know,
like if I check Instagram on my computer, but I'm not signed in, you can still skim through it. You just
Right.
can't do anything. Yeah, he really wants to keep that all that stuff going there, or
I
whatever.
guess so.
So it's not loading. Load. But anywho, all right. So the only news thing I just saw, I'm trying to think. I just started writing down notes about the episode because we also wanted to try and keep this short. But Ariana Greenblatt, which is the girl who played young Ahsoka in
Right.
episode
4, 5.
4, 5,
Five, yeah.
She says that she and Hayden Christensen discussed a live-action Clone Wars project.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I saw a post on Facebook. Dave Filoni has confirmed that they're going to be making a trilogy that will take place during the Clone Wars movie or TV series, like at the end of season 1, but will be running parallel to the Clone Wars, but through Ahsoka's point of view, because we don't really see her that much
Right.
once she leaves or whatever. But it's supposed to be like a trilogy coming. So starting in 2027 is when this movie should be coming out. So we're
Interesting.
hearing about it now. Dave Filoni has already talked that yes, this is the case. So it should be pretty exciting.
I'm game for that.
Yeah. This is from I don't know who this said this, but after watching Ahsoka, I need Hayden Christensen and Ariana Green about to get their own Clone Wars live action series. The chemistry was just beautiful and heartbreaking. Oh, that's somebody talking about how it should be coming. But yes, I read somewhere else that Dave Filoni said, yes, in fact, that it will be happening. So that's pretty exciting if that is the case.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see a little more Hayden Christensen in today's episode too,
Yeah,
and
it was fun.
he's doing a I love it. I love his performance of it. It's been great.
Yes. It was funny when he first popped on. I was like, "Oh, is this Star Wars version of AI? Like, did she program in AI to have an AI version of
Yeah,
Anakin
just like
training her?"
it's like Anakin GPT,
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
Jedi GPT.
that would have been so timely and so cool if it was Anakin Chat GPT, but
Yep.
she did say that it was tapes and whatever.
Well, I mean,
So
there is like some precedent for it. Like there are holocrons that are basically imbued with a user's, like a dark side user's essence, essentially,
right.
and like that's like been the plot of a lot of Star Wars stuff. Is hey, this bad guy's in a holocron, and oh no, he's gonna come back to life. We got to stop him. So I would dig that.
I would dig that as well. So that's the only news that I wasn't really looking too hard for some news because we had so much stuff going
Yeah,
on
you
with
might
this episode.
if you're not like watching on YouTube, you should check us out because
Yeah.
you'll notice that Rob, like we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, is dressed to the nines.
Dressed to the
Dressed in his Sunday
nines.
best. He's got a tie on. He just thought that this was a really special occasion. He
Yeah,
knew
well,
I
it's
was coming over. He wanted to impress me.
you know, the 111th episode is always the big one.
Listen,
So I
that's
got all dressed up for
111,
it.
bro.
111.
That's
Yes.
111th. That's like the same age that Bilbo was when he left the Shire.
That's right.
So either way, yeah, it's been a crazy week. Rob got home from work maybe 5 to 10 minutes before I stepped in the door.
That's right.
But yeah, so he looked great, man. And I
Can-
noticed the beard is on its way back.
The
Happy
beard's
about
on
it.
its way back. I
Proud of you.
Proud. Yeah, it keeps going back and forth. I'm looking at Google. I get the updates if you ever type into Google for it to send you emails about updated things that have shown up on the internet. Like I did it for my name. So
Like
every
the
once in a
hot
while,
search, the keyword search or whatever.
kind of, but you get like email updates
Yeah,
from it.
it
Yeah.
sends a lot. I remember I tried it once and I was like, I turned it off after I was like, there's so many.
Yeah. So I did it
But I was
once.
doing it about like The Mandalorian. So it
Right.
was like,
Yeah. So I typed in like Disney Star Wars, and this one article says Disney Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. What may be next? This is from the South Florida Business Journal. You click on it, and it says, if you want to know what's next, you have to buy a subscription for $4. I was like, nope.
yep.
And then here's another one, Disney rumor. So anytime it starts with the word rumor, or forget about it. Disney CEO Bob Iger scraps 2 previously announced Star Wars films.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a rumor. I hate when they do that. It's all, and here I am clicking through to try and find it.
I heard that Dave Filoni got in a fist fight with Bob Iger.
Yes, that's what I heard too. Rumor
So
has it.
spread that rumor, everyone. That's a rumor. I heard.
Yes.
You just heard it too. It's a rumor.
It's a rumor.
All right, Dave Filoni and Bob Iger literally in a giant vat of pudding.
I was going to say
Fist
in the
fighting.
middle of the void. Is that what it's called?
The volume.
The volume.
You were close.
I was very close. Yes.
But so it was in the volume actually, but they used the volume to put in this tub of pudding.
The tub of pudding.
Because they thought it would be funny afterwards. But yeah, they fought hard, and I think America won.
America won by this fight. America won.
Yep.
Yeah, so whatever. So I don't have any news, but it's okay because it's already late and we want to talk about the episode because the episode was good.
Dreams and madness.
Dreams and madness.
All right, so we're gonna hop right into it.
Hop right into it.
Spoiler alert, bro. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
We're about to hop into this.
We're gonna hop into this rundown.
Yeah, gonna get this rundown for you
right after this commercial break.
Red Robin.
Yum. And we're back.
That's one of the more clever ways I've seen like teachers like try and get people's attention, like how they do the clap. Clap.
Will does that all the time. He always says it. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Maybe
maybe he's the one who I saw it.
Maybe he does all those like commercials.
Yeah.
Like he'll do that.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all the kids go, I'm loving it. And then he does like whatever the Burger King one is and all that stuff. Yeah.
Have it
So
your way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
So
right.
all
So
right.
we're oh man, now I'm hungry. This is a problem.
Mm.
But we're here. We're back.
Did you ride
We're
Red 5 or did you
Red
take the
5 is
car?
down for the count.
Oh
In my
no.
during my like most favorite time to ride.
Yes.
It's beautiful weather, but like I actually last week when I came here to record, I planned on taking the bike and it wouldn't start up.
Yes.
And so I
I didn't
plugged
know
it.
if you fixed it since then.
No, I plugged it back in the tender, still nothing. So I gotta probably next week I'll take it in,
Oh, that's not
get it
fun.
fixed up. But yeah, yep, and we move on.
So on to the car, but yes, the so I was going to ask because then I was like, oh, you can just stop at Taco Bell on the way home.
Ooh, don't you tempt me.
Taco
Don't you tempt me.
Bell.
Sometimes I'll just go there and get like their cheesy roll ups.
Okay, yeah,
Like
you do
literally,
like them, yes.
literally just like tortilla and cheese. It costs them like a quarter of a cent to make,
and they charge
and they're making me
$7.
like, yeah, it's ridiculous. But
well, I do have one bit of news which
boy.
you will like.
Oh,
I
boy.
just ordered something that for me they won't fit you. Crocs, everybody's favorite shoe,
Sure.
which I love. Crocs twice has almost gone out of business, has almost filed bankruptcy.
Really?
Yeah. And every time they like fall apart, not literally fall apart, but like the company is like almost in bankruptcy. Nobody wants to wear Crocs. And then suddenly some Instagram person is wearing Crocs with socks, and then everybody's back wearing Crocs again.
Yeah, I mean, I see them all over
Yeah.
the place.
So now they're back. They're the new hip thing. And Crocs just came out with Star Wars, a new version of the Star Wars shoes. The clogs are Chewbacca.
Okay.
They're fuzzy on the inside, furry on the
Ooh.
inside, and they look like they're brown with like the Chewbacca like fur swirl type things on it. So my son sent it to me and said, "You have to get these." So
And so
of
you did.
course I did.
Yeah.
So in the next couple of weeks or so, I will be getting some Chewbacca Crocs.
Chewbacca Crocs. Oh, I just
Chewbacca
realized you have
Crocs.
this whole box of
There's a
tissues
whole
down here.
box
I'm
of
very
tissues.
excited
Yeah, so
about.
now you have 2 boxes of tissues
yeah.
to run through.
Yeah, and I will. I'm like it's when my allergies are bad. Like I'll go through a whole box.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Oh, I know. I've often stuck tissues up my nose to stop it from running. So
Oh, that's my go-to is the walrus tissue nose. You know,
yes.
you stuff it up. I'll do both nostrils for a good like 10 minutes, and usually it's fine. But you know, when I'm on camera, I tend not to.
You don't want to do that on camera? That
So
would
I'll just blow my nose for every 15
yes.
seconds.
I was gonna say that'd be great though for TikTok. That'd be awesome if you just have.
You think maybe we'll
yeah.
we'll get some more
Yeah,
followers?
get a lot of followers because
Yeah, maybe later we can go in and we can change the
change the thumbnail image.
thumbnail. So
yeah,
this is
so it's
included
this.
in it, right?
Yep,
So
there it is. There it is. Look, folks, Nick has tissues up his nose.
Yeah, man, feel good about. Actually, honestly, I feel better.
I bet you do because it's
Yeah.
not dripping down your face now.
Yeah.
So these are the trials and tribulations of living in the Great Northeast.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Hera is being court-martialed.
Yeah, so we're hopping right in here.
We're hopping right in.
So Hera's like in front of the whole council there, and you got
or not Organa. What's her name?
Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma is there. Some other senator that we never saw. I mean, up until this series,
Right.
Senator Zion.
Yeah, so I found out today we actually do see him, but we wouldn't because I think he's in Resistance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because somebody else posted that the rock people were there's a species very similar to them in Resistance as
Okay.
well.
Yeah, so I found that out today. He is a senator representing Hosnian Prime, which is the world that the Empire destroys in The Force Awakens.
Okay.
And he survives, so the implication is maybe that he was working with the
because
Imperial
he was able
Remnant.
to get off
Right.
before. Yeah, because he
So-
definitely has some underlying
He's got an agenda. Yeah, for sure.
agenda going on here because he doesn't like Hera. He doesn't want to believe that's not true. We're not there. Thrawn's not coming back. You're all lies. This is all lies. You're a bad person. You're
I mean, honestly,
wasting our money.
watching him talk was like watching C-SPAN.
It was.
You know, it's like watching one of these like oversight committee hearings where like
Yes.
they call the hearings simply just to like not ask questions, but to yell at people
To
and
yell
tell
at
them
people,
how
yeah.
bad they are and get screen
Uh-huh.
time. That's what it seemed like to me.
I agree with that 100%. And then so she's being yelled at by him, and she's like, "Yeah, whatever, you're an idiot," blah blah blah. And then right before the hearing goes down, he says, "Okay, you're being court-martialed. You are a disgrace to the uniform, and we're taking your 5 red dots off of your jacket."
I mean, at one point he did kind of hit on something that we've talked about. He's like, you abuse your power for your personal gain. And I think several times you've been like, girl just likes flashing the I'm a general badge
She
around,
does.
doesn't
She
she? You
loves
know, so
throwing that up there a lot. Do you know who I am? I'm a general.
kind of
Uh,
a big deal. People know me.
People know me. So then, oh, and we also know. Did you notice that her headgear, her earphones, and her goggles were not on her hat during this
I
time?
can honestly say I did not notice that.
Yeah, you saw her little pointy ears, like we've seen with other
Oh,
Twi'lexes.
yeah. I guess
Yeah,
now that you're mentioning it, I feel like I do remember seeing her ears, and like that would not normally be something I'm like thought about, but
yeah,
like I specifically said, oh, you'd be like it, yeah. So like I guess I did, and subconsciously I realized that they were something I was, but I didn't even put two and two together.
yeah.
Interesting.
Which was it was interesting because she still had her hat on, or her headpiece, her headdress that went over,
All right,
like,
wasn't it just kind of over her ears a little bit?
yeah. So like it was brown on top of her head, going back to her leku, but then it was cut out. It wrapped like around her ears, but it was cut out where her ears were.
Right.
So it kind of like the hat like wrapped around her ears to hold onto her head,
Mm-hmm.
but she didn't have her ear muffs. She didn't have her Apple
Right.
uh Beats, not the Beats, the Beats Pro. She didn't have her Beats Pro on
Uh,
with her goggles built in. So she was like, "Okay, well, I will actually hear everything you say instead of listening through my headphones or whatever."
yeah.
So
Well, she normally probably just has like death metal playing on
she
them.
does.
She couldn't hear over that. Damn it. By
Yeah.
the way, I'm going to use this as a moment to plug them. One of my students hit me to Galactic Empire. I don't know if you've ever heard this band.
I think they were playing at the one beer fest.
They're outstanding. It's heavy metal Star Wars music, like all the music from the movies and stuff. They even have uh, Indiana Jones CD,
Okay.
but they've got 2 Star Wars CDs, and it is killer. I've been listening to it nonstop the last couple
Galactic
days.
Empire.
Yeah, so the first go, I think there's like a part one, like
Okay.
and like
I'm
the
on their website. They're playing in New York, Teaneck, New Jersey,
hey,
Richmond, Virginia,
that's not far from
Pittsburgh,
here.
Paris, France,
That's pretty far away.
London, United Kingdom, Manchester.
So I'm gonna pump this into here for just a second. Hold on.
Yeah, you pump it in. Oh, and they're on vinyl too. Holy cow.
Right, that, and then so that's I got this one's great.
Oh, that is good.
Nice. Rob's got air guitar moves.
I can play air guitar. I can't play an actual guitar.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh man, of course. Oh, what's sold out? Yeah. So they have 4 albums on vinyl, which is all the cool kids are getting vinyl.
That's true.
I was thinking of getting one for my son because their printing is very cool. The one album, the one record is 2 different shades of blue. Another one is orange and purple blended together.
Huh.
Another album is half silver, half black, like in a straight line, which is pretty cool. Each of their records are $25 a piece.
Oh, that's
though.
not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they're much worse out there.
The one special edition, which has it's probably, I don't know, I was gonna say it's a sticker, but it's on a record, so it can't be a sticker. So it's got to be printed this way. Is the Imperial logo, like the round logo, printed into it, but that one's sold out, unfortunately. That was only $11 too.
Hmm.
And then they have a double album for $50. So 2 records at once. But yeah.
This is my favorite.
I love it.
It's really good. I just been pumping it nonstop. So yeah, yeah, you should in your class tomorrow just start
Yeah, just start
dropping
playing
on
that. Yeah. Because
Uh,
I was playing Tom and Mean all the time. Oh, I can't tomorrow. Tomorrow's my even day. Those kids wouldn't be able to handle it.
No, they go a little nutty with
Yeah,
the
they,
death metal.
They start nutty as it is. So,
I see.
yeah.
So anyway, we were talking about the episode.
we
before
were
got
talking about the
musically
episode.
distracted.
Yeah. So check out Galactic Empire. Maybe we'll try and get them on the show. If
That would
they're-
be great, actually.
I think I thought they were from around here.
Yeah.
But it does. We'll have to check out their Facebook page and stuff. I'm just looking on their website.
Yeah, check them out everywhere because I like good music and they're good music.
Yeah.
And it's Star Wars. Can't go
And
wrong.
it is Star Wars. So I think one of the friends from the show posted something on Facebook about getting. I think it was Terrence who posted that he's trying to get back in the vinyl. What should he get? And I said,
Oh yeah.
you should get They Might Be Giants Flood, because that was a neat looking record also. And I used to love They Might Be Giants. Flood was a wonderful album back in the 90s. I don't know.
I,
You
don't
were
think-
like
I knew
six.
I knew of Flood, but I don't think I listened to very much.
Flood's a good album. You should
Yeah.
listen to it on the way home. Yeah, so we should tell them to check this one out instead. Check out this Galactic Empire, get some of their vinyls.
Yeah,
All right,
So Hera,
so Senator Zion
He's
is
being a jerk.
angry. He's being a jerk.
He's
He's telling her no.
yelling.
You're getting disciplined
he's
and demoted.
gesticulating.
Yep, and
He's pointing.
pointing. And I thought for sure, who's the pilot that went with her? He showed up. The Carter Carson. Yeah, I thought for sure Captain Carson was going to stand up and say something, but he just sat down and just like waited. And then suddenly there was commotion in the hallway, and who comes in? But sure enough, the one droid that's been in every single movie except for 2. I don't think he was in.
He wasn't in Solo.
And he also wasn't in the other one where they got the plans.
Rogue
for
One?
Rogue One.
I think he made a cameo in that one.
Did he make a cameo?
Yeah,
in
I
that
think
one?
him and R2 made a cameo in that one.
All right, I know he was in almost everything.
Yeah.
So of course he
but
shows
this
up.
is his first debut for the small screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this marks the 11th or 12th movie / thing he's done for. Apparently, he's very adamant that no one else will play C-3PO. Like he
Now,
covets that
yeah.
role and that character.
I was wondering if they just used his voice or if he was actually inside the costume, because he was leaning backwards a lot more than he normally. Like he wasn't as straight up and down as he normally is.
Well, he's getting old.
He's getting old,
and
yeah.
it's probably hard to get into that metal suit.
Oh yeah.
I would hope that by now, 40 some odd years later, they would have found a way to make it slightly more comfortable.
Yeah, and like, sometimes in some of the behind the scenes movies, they talked about how like he can't sit down in it. So if he's ever sitting down, he doesn't actually have the pants on.
That's great.
Yeah, and there was like one part where he was standing and he couldn't move or something. He like fell over, and they had to like help him up because he couldn't bend his knees to get him back up again or whatever. So I don't know.
It's good to know he does not yet have the red arm though. So.
That is true. Thank God we don't have the red arm version.
So this is popping back a little bit, but something else that we established in this thing when Carson did actually talk, because he did mention one thing. He mentioned what happened with Gideon.
Right.
So that puts us that placed our timeline now.
Yes.
We are after this past season of Mandalorian. That's all already happened.
Right. Because he does say, well, what about Moff Gideon taking over and
with Mandalorian.
With Mandalorian. Yeah. So we know that this is after the Mandalorian season ended.
Yep.
And they said, oh, that's just a pocket of whatever.
Yeah, it's a warlord.
Yeah. Which, if you want to, and also Senator Zion definitely has something against droids as well.
I loved when Chopper had to be restrained. He was like, hold me back, Carson.
I'm not. I'll zap him. Yeah. So yeah, he. So C-3PO does finally bust in. He says, "I have very important news," and so he comes in, and says that Hera was on a mission from none other than Princess Leia or Senator Organa,
who is the, I guess, head of the defense council or
head of
something.
the Defense Council. Yes, and it just shows more that we find out in the later movies that she was not happy with the way the re, what did they even call it, the
The New
rebellion, the
Republic.
New Republic, how the New Republic was running things. So she's definitely going to stick up for the people who are not rebelling against the New Republic, but keeping their eyes open to the fact that there's still bad guys out there. And
And
the New Republic doesn't want to admit it, or at least, Senator Zion doesn't want to admit it.
you got to figure by now she has also undergone her Jedi training.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Whatever training she had, which was substantial, we find out like she was like on the precipice of becoming one. She decided, nah. So like she's probably more aware of things than they are, and obviously she's going to be more open minded to, you know, the fantastical.
Yeah.
Because she can experience
She
it.
can
You know?
experience it. She can feel it better. So, um, there was a thing, the building, when they clicked to a city shot, the outside of the building had a rebel symbol attached to the building, where in previous episodes when Carter was in the city before, there was a banner hanging up, like they were in transition, like when a new restaurant takes over,
Right.
and you can still see the old restaurant under sign
Right.
underneath the banner. So now they got the sign people out there to put up the new rebel banner.
Well, with government jobs, there's always a bid process. Takes
Yeah, it takes
forever. Yeah.
forever. Yeah, it takes a
So it
while.
goes.
So they did that. Then we cut to the Purgle flying. Ahsoka's training.
Yeah, she's doing her practice moves.
She's working on Form 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, with her lightsabers. And as she's doing it, this is when we see AI Anakin.
Yes, Jedi GPT.
Jedi GPT. That's a band name. So he's there talking to her, and that's why I said I thought it was her creating a chat GPT so that she had somebody to talk to, and he was training her or whatever. But we find out that it's
A
data
recording.
cards are recording, and he has
Like one
20.
of 20 of them, yeah.
Yeah, and she put it into this nice, neat little wooden box.
Which to me says we're going to be seeing more of them. Because she
Yes.
mentioned that there are more of them.
She mentioned that there are more of them. Or also, one of the videos they said, oh, maybe she'll give it to Luke when she sees Luke again.
Ah,
Because that would be neat if she did that, because Luke doesn't know
about his father.
about
really
his father.
beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only the
So
after.
it would be very nice. It would be a nice birthday present. Here's your
Yeah.
birthday present. Here's videos of your dad.
Yeah, since I haven't got you anything for the past however many of them.
Right.
That's on me and your dad
This,
a little bit.
so I suddenly found these 20 videos. So whatever. And then oh, somebody posted this on Facebook. Last week, the Night Sisters could sense Ahsoka coming, and they said there's another Jedi coming or something like that. But they couldn't find Ezra on the same planet that they were on, which I found an interesting point of view.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe they can sense when something's coming, but they can't sense exactly where. I don't know how magic works. I also have a nitpicky thing where it's cool we're seeing the Night Sisters, but like I want to see them do magic, not their balls do magic.
Yeah,
So
because they have powers not
Yeah,
just based
and-
off of their magic balls.
yeah, and the magic balls are red lasers, but they do green fire magic. I want to see the
Yes,
green
I
fire
want to see
magic.
green fire magic. Exactly. In the videos, Ahsoka or Anakin does mention that she's not going to be fighting just droids. He mentions
Yeah, he mentioned
Ventress,
Asajj Ventress. Yeah,
Dooku, Grievous.
that was the first time they brought her into any live action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because now, and I love how they're bringing Dave Filoni. He knows, like, there's all these great books out there. So why do I have to reinvent the wheel when I can just use stuff that's already been written? So
Yep.
he's bringing it from Legends into canon.
Yep.
And bringing Ahsoka into, or not Ahsoka, Ventress into live action. So maybe we'll see her at some point. And then, oh, her ship, when we see one shot of her ship, there's moisture on her windshield, just little details that they put in
Ah, yes.
because
Well,
she's in the mouth of a whale. So it was interesting that they're like, okay,
but why? But why would there be moisture in the mouth of a whale?
because
That's not
the
in the
mouth,
water,
but your mouth is hot.
right? But I guess I'm trying to think like the space whales are always in space. So what are they drinking?
The little plankton that are
The
in
space plankton.
space
What are the
plankton.
space plankton drinking?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering where they get their water. See,
Yes.
these are the holes. These are the plot holes that
These are
really
the
take
plot
me
holes.
out of
These
it.
plot holes. It
Right?
just ruins
Like,
it. I'm never watching Star
man,
Wars again.
ruined forever.
The three Night Sisters, they're based on history, on Greek mythology.
Yeah, they're named after the Fates.
Yes.
Yep,
The
they
sisters are named,
have near identical names to the Fates.
yeah, to Clothal, Alcuth.
I
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah.
I would pay just to hear you like
Try and say these
say
names.
Greek names all
Yeah.
day.
Actropa and Laxis, Laxis.
Oh,
There we go.
man.
So that's it. So they're Night Sisters names.
Now say the thing that Boba Fett fell in episode 6.
Oh, the Scarlax pit.
Oh boy. Anyway.
Anyway, so the Night Sisters, they're named the same things, just spelled slightly differently. So we know Filoni has done his research on Greek mythology. He's a big Greek mythology. Somebody said that will Enoch kill Thrawn because Thrawn was killed by his right hand man in the
Rook.
books, Rook.
Yeah.
So then, is Enoch going to replace Rook in
In
killing
that role.
Thrawn?
Yeah, I saw some people talking about that same thing. And then so we were talking about Enoch last week. It is so the biblical Enoch was this figure who lived for like 300 years
Okay.
and then went to heaven but did not die. Like walked
Right.
into
He was
heaven.
able to get to heaven without dying. Yes.
So people are trying to decide whether like why call this guy Enoch, because there's so many pulls from mythology
Yes.
this season, more than any other. I
Mhm.
feel like. So like trying to figure out how that like matches up. So but I have seen that maybe, and that's where you kind of get stuck, because it's like you want to take stuff and take ideas from books that are good, but you also don't want to completely rewrite them,
Right.
because you know that large portion of your fan base are people like us who have read them,
Mhm.
and so you want to still give them some surprise and like not be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what happened. So yeah, it's, I don't know, it's a fine balance, I feel like.
Yeah. So it will be interesting, and I doubt if he does, because the rumors are, of course, they're rumors, but speculation, I guess, is that this season's going to end. Thrawn's going to get back into the regular Star Wars galaxy. Maybe he'll do some destruction when he first gets there.
You
but
mentioned this last week. You think it's going to be like an Avengers?
yeah,
right,
but then there's
assemble
going to be
thing,
like an
right?
Avengers, Civil War or whatever, assembled or whatever. Yeah, we're all,
Endgame,
Endgame. Yeah, we're
all the Mandalorians.
and the Mandalorians,
Yeah.
all Ahsoka. Ezra comes back with or without a lightsaber. All these people are all there fighting against.
Yeah, how about Ezra becoming a space hippie?
I know, right?
He's just like in these trailers all day smoking weed, and like and then they travel the lands, and he's just like, nah, bro.
They just go
the
from.
Force is my ally.
I don't need anything. I got the Force.
Nah, bro, you
man,
keep that
yeah.
lightsaber. That's a symbol of the man that tries to oppress
That's the
us.
man. That's the man holding
That's
us
right,
down. I don't need the
man.
man. I'll handle without it. It's cool, dude. It's cool. It's fine.
So we'll talk about that a little when we get there. But I
Yeah.
do feel like there's more to that.
Yes,
There's
I
definitely
agree.
something we're missing here.
I agree that we're gonna get to more than what we saw there.
Yep.
But so then, other people pointed out in the past week that Thrawn doesn't have any officers on his ship, all just stormtroopers.
That's true.
There's no officers on the ship whatsoever. Now,
Interesting.
the rebuttal to that is we haven't seen any of the officer decks, the flight deck where officers or the control deck, I guess, whatever you want to call it, where you steer the ship from.
Sure.
We've only been in that loading bay where there's
Right.
all of them are chanting Thrawn and
But-
stuff.
But we also know that Pelion is still out there.
But
right?
Pellion's not on
Because-
the ship.
But invariably we know they're going to get back to the New Republic, and we know, I mean, God help me, hope we know that next episode Thrawn's not going to get killed. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
gonna get back, and likely he's gonna whoop their asses.
Right.
And so you could then assume that from there he will regroup with Pelion and his branch of all
And
that.
yeah.
And we already know that this is not a remnant; it's a bunch of different people who all talk and stuff. So
Right.
maybe after he gets back, is that maybe all his officers died and Pelion will rejoin him. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
Pelion will rejoin him.
And
I don't know.
and also like when we were watching in, was it a Mandalorian, when they had the circle of
Mhm.
everybody? Yeah. They're all waiting for Thrawn to come back to
Yep.
be like their leader.
Yep.
So all the five families will all be reunited once Thrawn comes back, and they'll all work together. So it'll be interesting when that happens. So
I think part of season 2 is going to be him reconnecting with
mhm.
them, like the more cocky ones, like trying to like challenge him and essentially say no, and then him basically destroying them, and
Yeah.
then everyone else being like, oh yeah,
Let's
let's do the thing.
let's stay with him so
Yeah.
we don't get killed also. So it was interesting that they were pointing out that there were no officers, but we'll see what happens. And then, like I said, the hermit crab people were in Star Wars Resistance, and I do remember after I saw that, I do remember seeing them. They were like down in the bellows of a ship because they didn't like talking to people or whatever.
Yeah,
And then we see Sabine and Ezra are hanging out,
just chilling. And
just chilling.
Sabine has no respect. She's got her legs up on this kid's
A
house.
house, moving house. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
But we do finally, everybody was, yelling and screaming last week that Ezra's been gone for 15 years, and she doesn't say, like, oh, by the way, all these things happened.
Right.
So now they allude to the fact that she says all that without actually
She
going
caught him
through it.
up.
Yeah, she caught him up. He said, so,
Hey, remember
and
all those things we did? It amounted to something.
amount of, yeah. And it was interesting because he says, and let me get this straight. The Palpatine is dead, and she's like, well, that's what
That's
people
what people
say.
say. Yep.
So that was a fun little nod
Yep.
to well, we know in the next 3 movies that he comes
That
back.
he's not dead. Yeah.
So we're gonna leave it at that. I don't know if we needed that. It would have been fine if she said no, or if she said yes, he's dead, because everybody, thought that he was dead,
Right.
except for his closest people who were trying to rebuild him.
Yeah, but it also stands to reason, she, unlike most of the galaxy, knows what Palpatine is. You know what I mean?
okay, I like
Because
that theory. Yes.
they had the interaction, like they whether or not she wasn't there for it, I guess, but I'm sure Ezra might have caught her up on like all the craziness that happened in the world between worlds and stuff. So just knowing who that person is, maybe she has like that's what they say, but who
Yeah.
knows if he can die, sort of a thing.
Right. Okay, I'll go with that. I like that
That's
theory.
just something that popped in my head.
Yeah,
It could be
no,
complete nonsense.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Then Ahsoka's telling her little robot friend that she can find Sabine with the Force.
Yeah, and I found that to be an interesting moment there, because she, like, Hu Yang specifically goes, "Do you think your bond is strong enough?"
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Which to me means, like, I'm thinking back on Rebels in the past 6 episodes, and I'm going, I have not seen them have a hugely strong bond.
Right.
So they must have one that we don't know about.
Yes.
So
Because
there's so much we don't know about that first training. You know what I mean?
right, the first time that she was training, because they do talk about in the beginning of the season about how she stopped her training. So since Rebels ended, and I mean the two of them were going off together to try and find Ezra.
Right.
So they have spent some time together. So it is interesting. It would be interesting to find out how much time they did, like you said, spent together.
Yeah. And so by this is all happening after they came out of hyperspace and to a minefield.
Oh yes.
And there was funny, they were talking inside the mouth. And I'm like, just sitting there going, there's going to be some explosions any second here, right? And then all of a sudden, the dude opens his mouth and it's just a firestorm.
Right. And I thought that they were shooting at the Purgle because they knew they were coming. So I thought they were waiting for them, and they were just shooting at
It
them.
turns out they just dropped mines in the area.
Thousands and
Yeah, a whole
thousands of
bunch of 'em.
mines, a whole bunch of mines.
I was very glad that we didn't see any of the whales join their brethren in the rings.
Right. Yeah, I
That would've
wouldn't
been
want to
sad.
see any of them get turned inside out by these mines.
Yeah. but
Uh,
they navigated their way out of there, and then they were hiding.
funny line. They're like, well, at least we have the whales to protect us.
Oh yeah,
And then,
boom, boom. Yep,
then the whales were like, I'm tired of this. I'm jumping back into hyperspace. And
yep. They pieced
so I
out.
wonder where they're going, if they're just trying to figure out like uh pulling a giant U-turn.
Yeah, just like kind of coming at it from the other side. Maybe that's how they get back.
Yeah,
It's
maybe.
like the Purrgil like pop out. They're like, hey, what the hell was that all about, man?
Yeah.
Y'all all right? Let's find a different way
Let's
home.
find a different way home. So, um,
So yeah, they're hanging out in the debris field because they were
mhm.
chased there by
And then yeah, and
bad
then
guys.
as soon as the whales disappear, then there's bad guys chasing them. So it was a fun,
Yeah,
another fun
dogfight.
dog
Scene, yeah.
fight, which was good.
The Purrgil looked there was some shaky CGI this episode.
Okay.
Not like earth shattering, like oh my gosh, this is terrible. But there were a couple of moments where I went, oh, that's not like there one moment with Ahsoka where she jumps out of the
Oh, that of the
ship
ship.
later.
Yeah.
That like there's a moment there where I'm
When
just
her
like,
tumble and
yeah,
fall was a
something was off.
yeah, a little off.
And then the Purrgil looked a little out of place when they came out of hyperspace. There was another spot I can't remember, but yeah, I mean it was nothing that took me out too much, but it was
But it
they
could have
spent a
been
lot of money on
yeah.
Anakin's face.
Yeah, yeah. They did spend a lot of time.
But the dog fights look great.
The dog fights look great. It just shows how good of a pilot she is, because she was able to elude 6 different fighters. And I love they I love when they give you the camera shot of the pilot, and the pilot has a full helmet on, so it doesn't matter. You can't tell like his emotion, if he's like angry, like I'm gonna get her,
Yeah.
or if he's like, oh, whatever, because it's just a helmet. And when it's the I guess at this point it must just be the pilot flight suit that all these people have, but they all just look like I don't know if you watched the GI Joe cartoons when I was a kid, but they had the main GI Joe characters, and then they had the like privates, like just hundreds of just green uniform guys who were doing all the dying and shooting
Right.
and whatever. And every time I see one of these suits, it's just like, oh, this is just a backup character who
This is
means absolutely
this is
nothing.
someone who is in this scene to die.
Yeah, and I'm watching and I'm like, are we gonna get other shots? And is somebody going to be better? Like, is it gonna be the Padawan? Is she gonna be flying a ship again?
Right.
Or is it just gonna be 6 of these guys who mean nothing to us?
Yeah.
And so we see the one shot, and it just made me laugh.
And then and again, this is all happening because Thrawn, like he looked up who she is apparently,
Right.
and she says specifically, this is everything we have on her from the inquisitorial database.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool that they have like access to the Empire's records, and the Empire kept records on these Jedi. And he goes, "Oh my gosh, she was Anakin's Padawan.
Yeah.
I know that dude." And so he knows, he's like, all right, well, if she's anything like him, I know
And
how
the,
she's gonna operate.
the neat thing about that was that the Inquisitors were all former Jedi
Yep.
who turned. So they all the Inquisitors probably at one point went through the Jedi Academy, so they knew who all these Jedi
Yep.
were. So it was good, a good nice little subtle Easter egg there.
Yep.
Yes. But yeah, so she's avoiding, and she goes, oh, I have an idea, we'll go into the debris field. And Huang is like, no, it's too dense in there. She's like, I'll be okay.
Do you know what the odds are? They're terrible. They're astronomically bad. That was a good little.
That was a... He's awesome.
Yep.
He's so much fun.
Yep.
So then she like hides in like the one rib cage or whatever of a giant whale that's like in there, and the other pilots are like, I'm not going in there. So then they all like.
Well, Thrawn also called them off.
He does call them off at that point.
At one point, because essentially he's like, all right, well,
yeah,
I know what you'll do. And then they find her, I guess.
And then this is also him showing him that he's not willing to risk his people's lives just to do it. Like, he's not going to keep them. You will find her, but we're going to die. I don't care. Get them, like,
Yep.
we'll just come back. We'll figure it out later. And then that's when he calls in the Night Sisters, and all 3 of them have to work together. So I was thinking, what happens because there are 3 balls, all form a triangle.
Right.
And then the triangle is able to, GPS triangulate GPS and find her exact location. So if one of these three Night Sisters gets whacked, gets killed by a lightsaber or Sabine's two pistols, are the Night Sisters then the other two useless?
Huh. You think there's maybe like they have one in waiting, like a vice night
Of
sister who's like waiting in the wings
right,
to replace him?
the little Night Sister in training, yeah,
Yeah.
and she's like,
Every year
okay,
they take on an intern to fill
yeah,
the role just in case.
it's like, okay, you can come out now, it's
I,
your turn.
I mean, they got to have more than just these three, right?
Right. I mean, I mean, especially like in the cartoons and even in Star Wars Rebels, the game, there were Night Sisters all over Dathomir, which
Yeah.
is where these Night Sisters eventually go and live, is on Dathomir. So, yeah, but it was just interesting to me. I just thought about that. I was like, oh, since they do everything in threes, if we take one of them out, we don't need to take all three of them out. Just
Just
take
one.
one of them out, and
Just one.
then they're useless. So, Thrawn. Oh, and then I did like when Sabine and Ahsoka, when Ahsoka did finally reach out to Sabine, and she was like, Sabine.
Yeah.
And then Sabine has like this glassed over look, and she's like, Ahsoka? And Ezra's like, you okay?
You
What's
all right?
going
You
on?
good?
What are you doing over there?
Ezra is great so far. I
Yeah.
love the portrayal of Ezra, especially in the scene later on we have where he's like, no, no, hold on. He's like trying to talk them out of killing him,
Yeah.
essentially.
He's like, what? You prisoners. You want us as
Yeah.
prisoners,
That,
don't you?
that
Don't
was
you want that?
very Ezra in
Yeah.
like it could have been straight out of Rebels.
And somebody pointed out in, I guess, last week's episode, he said something about Jabba the Hutt, which is what his code name was all the time when he was on
Yep.
Rebels. He constantly told everybody that he was Jabba the Hutt, and it was really funny. I don't think it was Thrawn. It was who was the other baddie, the head of in Rebels. He had the big mutton chops.
Not Hux.
Hux.
Not Hux.
No, not Hux.
Callus.
Callus. Callus was like, "You're a little small for a hut," you know,
Yeah.
like he knew, you know, that wasn't his name type of thing. But it was funny. So people are like, Jabba the Hutt's dead. This takes place after blah blah blah, and they're like, you never watched the cartoons.
Yeah.
And there was I loved, and even like I was talking to somebody tonight. I said, "Oh, are you watching Ahsoka?" He's like, "No, not really." I was like, "Did you watch Rebels?" I don't watch cartoons, and I'm like, okay, like it's not like. Not that there's anything wrong. I loved watching Scooby Doo or Hanna Barbera cartoons, or even The Simpsons have been on television on prime time for 35 years now.
Yep.
Like, for whatever reason, people have a stigma about watching cartoons. That's
Yep.
that's so childish. But Rebels was a very
People take
good.
themselves too seriously.
They do. Rebels was a very good cartoon story. Like the
If you're
story was
watching
good.
Star Wars,
Yeah.
then you're just as childish as those who watch like that. Like,
And that was
suddenly it's not childish just because you're watching Wizards
Space Wizards
in real time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, instead of like someone using their art to draw it, you're watching a dude fake lift something while that thing is picked up with strings.
Right. You're
Like,
watching CGI, which
yeah,
is cartoons.
it's just really
It's just
nice
really
looking
nicely,
cartoons.
yeah.
So, yeah, people just take themselves too seriously.
And oh, what was the other thing people said about darn it, I had it and then you ruined it.
That's
You
what I
blew
do.
it.
I'm a ruiner.
You're a ruiner.
You blew it.
You blew it. You let the whole team down.
I do that.
But yeah, so people are like, oh, it was a giant Facebook thread all about him saying Jabba the Hutt, and everybody's like, what? And they're like, you should watch the cartoon. I'm not watching that. That's so childish.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, oh, that's what it was. George Lucas said Star Wars was for kids.
Yeah.
So here you are, a 40-year-old person saying, I don't watch cartoons. You're still watching a kid's show. So deal with it and grow up and watch a cartoon, idiot.
Grow up and watch a cartoon.
Well, grow up and watch a cartoon. That's it.
I want to get a bumper sticker.
That is a bumper
but it's got to be
sticker.
the whole thing. Grow up and watch a cartoon, idiot.
Idiot.
Idiot. Idiot.
Idiot. You idiot. So yeah, so they're talking, and just as Ahsoka is able to find Sabine, that's the same time the Night Sisters' magic is able to find her, because she's using the Force to find, and they're using the Force to find her, and boom. So then they start bombing that area, which made me laugh, because then she just moved, and then the bombing stopped, and it was like,
you would think they would keep bombing, or
Right.
I guess they flushed her out, so
yeah.
maybe they would just keep
But
bombing.
they
and
didn't know
follow
that
her.
they flushed her out. So start there and just start rippling out
Yeah, right. Just
in all directions.
yeah, that's a good idea.
And then Natty being the Natty the rock people, they were using slingshots and they're like, oh,
Very
that didn't
effective.
work. Yeah,
Very effective. Yeah, and pots and pans at one point. Someone
pots.
like threw a
Yeah,
pot at the guy's
uh-huh.
head, and that actually helped save Sabine at one point.
Yeah,
So I guess at this point, like we're getting to like Balin and Shin are out on like the lamb for him, and
right. They're looking for him.
Balin essentially says, "Hey, I know you want to like go far with this new
Uh,
empire. I don't give a crap about them.
yeah,
Go do your thing. I'm gonna go do mine."
he says, where's oh no, I thought I wrote it down. Oh,
Something about his ambition.
Balin Shin says that their impatience for victory will guarantee the defeat. I was like, ooh, that is a very,
Yeah.
very good statement
Yeah.
there. I like that. But yeah, so he tells her basically, go ahead, this is your fight. And then it was funny because Thrawn is watching the fight on closed circuit television because they had
Sure.
that little drone
They're
flying
live
around.
streaming.
The live
Yeah,
streaming.
it's a Facebook Live.
It was.
Yeah.
And he had little Lego pieces moving all around, showing where all the good guys and bad guys were. And every time a bad guy died, he would like wipe it off the table, shoot it off the table. You're out of here. So he's watching all this go on. They the Ewoks all circle up. Everybody was comparing them to Ewoks.
I can see that.
I can see it in the fact that they're.
I mean, they're
primitive.
little. They're kind of weird, but they also like are scrappy.
Yeah,
and they're like fighting.
I felt that the Ewoks had better fighting styles, I guess.
Yeah, but that one stormtrooper who got sandwiched between the two trailers,
Yeah,
that was pretty rad, man.
pretty rad.
That was the one moment of that scene where I was like, "Ooh,"
Ooh,
you know, like, oof.
ouch. Yeah. So then this is when Ezra's like, no, I gave you my lightsaber. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I have the Force.
Yep,
It's
the Force
okay.
is my. And again, this is the part where I feel like either he like forgot how to lightsaber battle, or now he has decided that he no longer fights. You know, he's like, but that was my thought initially. Was like, oh, now he's a hippie.
Right.
But then he later on is fighting, and he like shoots someone with their own gun and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's not like he's a pacifist.
Yeah.
now.
So it's almost like he learned the Terakazi
Yeah. So
from Star Wars Galaxies.
and I guess if you've been 10 years, and like my other thought was maybe he just he is not like he got rusty, but clearly he's like been like training because
Yeah.
like he held his own against
Yeah.
like not even held his own, he was clearly overmatched Shin, I think.
Right. And he didn't even have a lightsaber.
Yeah,
He was
but he was just like grabbing the thing and dodging.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they remember that he's not like a kid anymore. You know,
Right.
he's been there. He's been around for a while. He should be far better than Sabine,
Yeah.
especially considering he was like, "You? Why?"
Yeah. She's been training you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so yeah, I think we're gonna find out why he wouldn't take the lightsaber.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It was
exactly why yet, but
it was fun watching him just dodge everything. Like
Yeah.
there's all different styles of martial arts. And my one friend back in college was like a black belt on like 3 different styles of martial arts. And one of them was a very defensive one where you didn't do anything offensively. Like you weren't kicking and punching. You were just dodging, constantly dodging, and just using their weight against them. And it's like, okay, once you throw a punch, I'm gonna push your arm away, and then I'm gonna be able to like twist your arm and break your arm without even throwing. And he was doing all that where he's just like, oh, you have a lightsaber? Watch this. Whoop, whoop. And he's just like moving left and right and dodging backwards and whatever.
Yeah, it would be cool if we like found out that over like the past 10 years he's really leaned into like the spirituals. We've never really seen a force user like that who's like less into fighting and more into like using the force.
Yeah.
So it would be cool if his like, his whole thing is like, I spent 10 years without it. I don't need it. And like there's a perspective of like a Jedi is their sword, but like Ahsoka's specifically been fighting that that notion that like you're a warrior.
Right. Yeah.
And to be able to see him like using the force to fight his battles for him and not like be just, obviously having to fight when he needs to, but still being able to hold
but
his
just
own
not
using
being
the
that
force.
weapon, but
Right.
being able to use the force in a different way as your weapon, as opposed to I'm just a weapon with a sword. And
Right.
he's just like, no, I'm gonna be a weapon where I just avoid you and then take you out that way.
Yep. That'd be cool.
It would be cool. And also, if you don't have a lightsaber for 15 years, you can practice with a stick all you want, but why practice with a stick if you don't have the opportunity to get a lightsaber?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought maybe he'd pull out a lightsaber. And I'm like, how's that gonna happen? He's been on this planet. There's no kyber crystals here.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was one thing. Like, you're in a completely different galaxy, so there's no kyber crystals. The Night Sisters aren't using kyber crystals at all. They're using the Force differently. So he's also learned how to use the Force differently,
Right.
and I liked it a lot. I was enjoying watching him
Yep.
like take what you think a normal Jedi does and be like, no, I don't need that. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So it was a lot of fun. So then they're fighting and people are dying. Obviously not anybody that we like. All these other people.
Sure. Of course.
I did like Balin where he was like, I have other things to do over here.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see where he goes and where his path takes him in the
Yeah.
next episode.
Because he got in that fight with Ahsoka,
Yeah,
right? And the roles reversed this time, where like he drew the lightsaber first, and
uh-huh.
like and it was Ahsoka's performance. The last couple episodes have been great. Like
Yeah,
this one especially, she like is grinning during fighting and stuff. Like
uh-huh.
she's being silly. Like she like you can't beat me. I don't think I need to.
I don't
You
need
know,
to.
and then
Yeah,
like she's grinning, and then she's gone. So like the snips, we've said this a couple times, but like after the Ahsoka Anakin duel, where she became Ahsoka the White,
right.
I think that was a lot. That went a long way in kind of bringing her back a little bit.
Yeah,
But their fight was cool. And then she got away and went to help Sabine et al. And he just like that was his moment to kind of make a decision, right? He could go back and help them or keep doing what he was doing.
yeah.
And he kept doing what he
And
was
he kept
doing.
doing what he was doing. He's like, I don't. This isn't my fight. I don't really care. I have better things to worry about. And I think once again, it's leaning back to what I was talking about last week, where I think he wants to get to the world between worlds so that he can go back and either go back in time or go ahead in time, whatever, and start um the Jedi Order the way he feels will be better used than the way it was used.
Right.
Because he doesn't seem, and we talked about it a lot with the orange lightsaber. He's not Sith. He's definitely not going full bad, but he's also conflicted in what he not even whatever he has a set path of what he wants to do. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully next week we find out what it is.
Yeah, and even in this one, when Ahsoka, he says, I didn't think I was going to see you again." He was like disappointed, and he was like, "No." Like
No,
he
yeah,
very clearly does not want dead Jedi. He's
yeah,
like yeah, he's a more complicated figure than all that. But again, there's one episode left. I think they're gonna have to recast him.
I think so.
I hope they do. Like I'm tired of the
Hmm.
digital placing
Yeah,
and like writing people out. Like it's a thing that happens.
yeah,
Like keep the story going.
yeah. Because it's a good storyline,
Yeah.
and it seems that it would be a waste of a storyline to have it end if you know that you're going to do another season, at least another season of Ahsoka. It seems like to have this much emphasis on this character to just have it end after 8 episodes seems like a waste of a
Hmm.
character.
Yeah.
Um, and even if at the end of this episode, at the end of 8, if he just goes into the world between worlds, because that's what his goal was, but we don't see him come out or see where it's taking him, then when he comes out at the other end, he could be the younger version of himself, and we would be able to recast him and just have somebody
Right.
else playing it, and that would be perfect.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's a good character. He was a great actor. It's a shame that he's not here anymore
Yep.
because he is doing an amazing. He did an amazing job in this episode in the season. Um, so then
They wrap up their fight.
they wrap up their fight.
Right.
Thrawn calls everybody back and says, "No, I don't. We don't need to lose any more people.
No, we already got what we needed.
We got what we
Let's get
needed."
loaded and go.
And the Night Sisters was like, or it wasn't even Night Sisters. It was the
Elsbeth,
Elsbeth was like, "What are you talking about?" He goes,
what you talking about, Willis?
"What you talking?" He's like, "We got everything loaded up. We distracted them long enough that we were able to finish loading the shipments from the
Of,
catacombs.
yeah.
We don't know what the shipments are. Everybody's assuming that it's more dead people that the Night Sisters have either already revived and they're sitting there healing of some sort. Maybe they're in just back to tanks. They're all
All having flashbacks.
having flashbacks. Or the Night Sisters are coming with. More likely, the Night Sisters are coming with because that's how they're going to get to Dathomir, where we're then going to see them again or whatever.
Sure.
Or is it Dantooine or
It's Dathomir. Yeah.
Dathomir. Okay. So yes, they're all loaded and ready to go. So he's like, we don't need them anymore. Come on back. And Shin, she was very like conflicted because she really wanted to finish the battle.
Yep.
And she's like, fight you? I'm being called back, but I need to fight you. I don't know what to do.
And then Ahsoka's like, "Yeah, bro, just put down the weapon.
Put down the weapon.
We got
Come with
room
us.
for you.
We got room for
We got
you.
another bunk.
You're cool, dude.
Your
Come
bangs
on.
are fine.
Your
we
bangs
don't
are
hold them
fine.
against you."
We don't mind your bangs.
And she just like,
she's like,
runs
nope,
away.
got to run back to daddy.
Yep.
Sorry. And then also Thrawn said something about there's one piece missing from this when he's looking at the
Yeah,
map.
where's Balin's skull?
Where's Balin's skull? Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
And that was our hint as the viewers that like, oh, they're not going to lose. They're not going. These guys are going to lose, right? That was like,
yeah,
the audience being like, hey, there's a problem.
There's a problem here. Your people aren't working in unison the way they should. Then they get back to, and I'm trying to think what else happened after that.
It ended very abruptly.
Yeah.
And when it ended, I was like, oh, really? And I looked to see the runtime, and it was actually like 40 minutes, 39 minutes.
Yeah.
But it did end very abruptly with like that. Like essentially they ran away, like Shin ran away. There was the like Ahsoka hugged Ezra.
Right.
They had their little hello. And that was it.
That was pretty
I
much
think
it.
that was how it ended.
Yeah. And then Ezra keeps hinting to the fact that he can't wait to get back home, which is
troubling. Yeah.
Because why keep bringing it up if he's not if there's going to be some kind of conflict with getting him back home.
Yeah.
So and I mean, Ahsoka got there using the Purgle.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to let her hop onto the ring and go back. You know, they're gonna put the Chimera in the ring. They're gonna put whatever ship they came with, and they're gonna take the ring and get out of here. So how is Ahsoka and all of them gonna get home if the Purgle now spaced out because they're running into the minefield and they're like, yo, we got to get out of here. So they're gone.
Right.
So there's no way for these guys to get home. So they're just going to be stuck there. They're going to make a spinoff in this other galaxy.
That's it.
That's it. That's all. The Rock people. Here it is. The Rock people are going to all push their rocks together and it's going to make a portal.
Oh, see, I figured you meant you were going to have to put their trailers together.
The trailers.
And with their powers combined, they are the most mobile of homes.
And
then they can get you back to the next galaxy.
They're going to all combine and make the what was the from Spaceballs? What was the name of the motorhome? It wasn't.
Winnebago.
The Winnebago, but was that Spaceballs 1 or was
Spaceballs 1 was the name of the Star Destroyer.
Right. The Winnebago had a name also. I forget what it was called.
Did it?
Yeah.
You may be right. Like it had something written on the
there was like
on the license plate,
on the
like
license plate. Yeah.
Spaced out or something like that.
Winnebago. Spaceballs. The Eagle 5.
Eagle 5, that's right.
5,
Eagle 5, you're right, man.
So they put all their shells together and it forms the Eagle 5.
I love that.
And then they hop in the Eagle 5.
And then they go to ludicrous speed.
They get the ludicrous. We've gone plaid.
That's Spaceballs. They've gone to plaid. I gotta watch that again.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
Yeah. Anyway, that's about it.
So that's about it.
We've been doing this for over an hour.
So it abruptly ended just like this podcast. Have a good night, folks.
Hey, we have spoken.
We have spoken. Bye-bye.